Okay, Steve, it's Kidderminster up next. Is it a case of building on what you achieved last week?
It has to be, yeah. As I alluded to lots of times, we need to put wins together, positive results together. You know, not just one every now and again. That was my message as soon as I saw the players again this week. You know, be pleased with the performance, relatively pleased with most aspects of it. Thought finishing obviously could be a little bit better, but there was a lot improved on Saturday. You know, defensively, we were solid. We looked like the shape probably suited us a little bit better. Which, you know, as I say, I'm still learning about the players as well. There's a certain style of play I like to play, but if it doesn't fit the group that we've got at the moment, you know, it's not about me. It's about results, and it's about getting results and getting the right balance in the team. So we looked at something different Saturday, and it worked. You know, I mean, you know, we're a team who's spent a lot of the season in the bottom third of the league and struggle to put back-to-back wins together. So we have to accept when we take a little step forward, and I thought it was a step forward. You know, I'm trying to create a positive environment. I really am. A positive environment for the players who've been pretty low when I got here. For them to come out of the shells a little bit and play with enthusiasm and play with confidence, because obviously when I got here they were lacking a little bit of confidence. So I'm trying to create a positive environment, and you know, that has to start with one win, hopefully leading to another.
How important was that clean sheet last week for confidence amongst the defenders and goalkeeper?
Yeah, very much so. You know, Bart's as well. He'll admit himself he's had a tough few weeks. I thought, you know, I had a good chat with virtually everybody last week, one-on-one. Spent a bit of time, you know, getting people to, you know, a lot of them admitted there's a lot more to come. Certainly not through lack of effort, maybe again through confidence and a little bit lack of belief. Went a little bit flat, so it was good for the goalie, good for the back four. I thought his starting position was very good Saturday. The keepers, I think, anything that ran through, he was there to sweep up. Playing with a bit more confidence, and as I say, clean sheets for defenders and goalkeepers does bring confidence.
Does a win like that make training easier the following week?
No, I think it doesn't make it easier. If it was easy, then we wouldn't be doing what I want us to do. I want us to look at Saturday and then improve again, and improve again every day in training. Improve again this Saturday, coming against, you know, no disrespect to Ashton, but better, you know, better opposition with better form and away from home, and as I say, try and put that elusive back-to-back win together.
I was going to ask you about Kidderminster. How do you rate them as a team? They're
a good footballing side. They do try and play football. They play a system that isn't orthodox. You know, most teams in this league are 3-5-2 or 4-3-3. They play a little bit differently. But as I say, we looked solid last week. Our approach has to be very similar.
Looking at transfer activity this week, you've let Macaulay Langstaff go out on loan to Bradford Park Avenue. Just tell us a little bit about your reasoning behind that decision.
It was a little bit selfishly. I'd like Macaulay to have stayed, and I do believe, knowing the player that he was, you'd have got a chance somewhere down the line. But he came in, he had a chat. You know, he's a young lad. He wants to play football. We decided that for a month it might benefit him and ultimately us in the long run if he goes out and gets some games under his belt and some confidence under his belt. You know, I'd hate to think he would go there and not play, but you know, they're a team who are doing well in the league as well, so there's no guarantee of that, and I hope he understands that. But he's still our player. He's still part of my thinking going forward, and hopefully he'll come back and be able to be involved in the remaining games.
You mentioned that you were also looking to bring in another striker or an attacking player. Does that mean you're looking for someone with perhaps different attributes to Macaulay?
Not necessarily different attributes. Just you know, we had, as I say, we were very close to signing a lad who unluckily for us and himself, more importantly himself, took a bad injury just before we signed him, and that was looking at the style of play that I was playing back when that was on the cards. Looking at the new sort of system that we play, it's very difficult now to play two strikers if we're going to stick to what we're doing now. You know, I like two strikers on the pitch, which is one of the reasons I like to play a 3-5-2, to have two strikers on the pitch. But if you're playing 4-3-3, the two men either side of your main striker don't tend to be out and out strikers anymore, although Kempster done very well there when he got there. So there's lots of different options for me, so I'm looking at different options. I've got 2 or 3 in mind who I know, as I've said before, the right type of characters. I think that's very important, bringing into a squad in a club like this. That's how I based my philosophy when I started last season, bringing in good players but good characters, and you know that's what the type I'll be trying to bring in.
And are you close to completing anything at the moment?
No, there won't be anything done again by this weekend, and I'm not gonna, you know, we've got a lot of players here, and you know, we've probably had 6 or 7 players not even involved on Saturday. So in an ideal world, the lads who aren't involved and who are looking to secure futures, whether it be here or elsewhere by the end of the season, they might want to look to go and get some games as well, and that would make it easier for me to bring people in. But I'm not going to force anybody out. They have to understand that if they're not going to be involved here, that there might be more benefit to them to go and play some games at other clubs and look towards next season. But as I say, I'm not just going to bring somebody in for the sake of it. I think we've got more than enough here. Once we get going and the confidence gets going, and we get people playing to their potential and ability to do well, and if the right player crops up between now and the next sort of week or two, who I am looking at, and it can drop, great. But if not, you know, we'll work what we got.
You did mention the possibility of a swap deal last week. Is that something that's now dead in the water?
Yes, yeah, it is. It's something that we couldn't pull off. So we, as I say, we're back to where we were last week. But as I say, if we can lift everything, the spirits, the confidence, the tempo of play, and add to that, you know, that result on Saturday, we've got players here that can push on this season. And if that's what it needs to be, then that's fine with me.
Just looking at your team news now for Saturday, you have made quite a number of changes in the last couple of games, but again, going back to Saturday's victory, is this one where you might be tempted to stick with the lineup?
I've always said, and I think any manager will tell you, apart from teams who have got 25 internationals to choose from, a settled side is always good to have. Saturday, as I say, there's not many players on Saturday didn't do themselves justice. Certainly without the ball, could do slightly better with the ball. Played a completely different environment on Saturday, though, away from home against a team who enjoys a lot of possession. We may need to look at that, and there may be 1 or 2 changes, but I would suggest that, you know, the majority of it. It'll certainly be a game where I'll make the least changes so far. Any
update on Simon Heslop's injury?
Yeah, unfortunately it's ongoing a little bit. I think he's had a minor look into it again this week, so it'll put Hezzy a little bit further behind than he was. But apart from him now, I think everybody, I think Parslow will be fit again to train today. In fact, he will be. I think Paddy McLaughlin will be. So apart from Heslop, I think we've got a full squad to choose from.